Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're on another tier list. We're gonna rank some songs from Georgia who have participated in Eurovision. We have 7 categories and we have like 15 or something songs that we're gonna place into these categories. Or well, I'm gonna do it, and then you're gonna disagree with me where I place everything, and then you can tell me in the comments what you would change. That's usually the concept that we're going for here, and we're gonna do the same today. Georgia is, of course, quite a recent country in terms of Eurovision. They debuted in 2007, missed out in 2009 because of a certain controversy that I'm sure some of you are aware of, but then participated every year since then. So we're going to go through these 15 songs here, I believe it is. And we're going to start with Visionary Dream, which was their debut in 2007, which I think is a incredibly cool song. I really do. It's fantastic in my book. And why that is really just the kind of absurd creativity of it. I really like the way that this song flows. It's kind of static in terms of certain transitions throughout, but it also has that real tangible point of kind of using a bit of a incohesive charm to it to really create something that actually feels quite cohesive. It sounds a bit odd, but I think that really what just makes it work is how it ties together at the very final chorus towards the end, where because at the early stages of the song you can kind of feel like the song consists of two different completely different approaches. The verses and the chorus are quite different from each other, and they kind of clash in the transitions at first. But then when they actually introduce this combination of the two towards the final chorus, I think everything just ties together so incredibly well, with how the backing track is accompanied by the chorus towards the final chorus, which is just one of these moments where I feel like everything actually came together and everything resolved exactly how I wanted it to be, even though it was kind of an unexpected resolution to it. Which is just one of these things that I really love. I love just being surprised in that way, in a positive way, of course. And I really am from this song. I like how it progresses. I like the ending of it a lot. I think the final chorus is spectacular. I also like the odd staging with some, swords and dances, and it's odd to look at, but it's also quite fascinating to look at, I think. And I also really like the progression of the song. So that's a fantastic one for me personally, I gotta say. 2008 came along after that. Not really as impressed with this one. Peace Will Come. I think the standout part of it is when they changed the clothing from all black to all white. But I think this is a solid one. It's a memorable chorus. It has like a nice flow to the song throughout. There's a nice message in it. It's just not really that interesting to me personally. I think it goes on and doesn't really do anything with great variation to really just grip me as an audience. But I still think it's quite solid altogether. And I like the little detail of the of the color switch, or whatever we should call it. In 2010, they had a song called Shine, which is, I think, vocally very impressive. It's well performed, very well executed, everything about it. It's just that the song doesn't really work for me personally. I think it's solid. Again, I think it's a solid song. It's very well performed, but the performance of it doesn't really drag it enough for me to really just get it into a category higher, because I think the song is just quite regular, quite standardized. It's enjoyable enough, but maybe not something that I would really, what do you say, really pay the greatest of attention to. I do pay some attention to it when I see the performance along with it. It is a great performance. It might objectively deserve to be a bit higher, but I just can't find myself being invested in it enough to really claim that it's more than a solid entry for me personally. In 2011, however, this is another fantastic one for me. I love this hectic, energetic rock approach that they've taken here. It's all over the place in a good way. It's chaotic, it's engaging, it's intense. Vocally, like melodically in the vocal department, it's really hectic and very on what do you what do you say, like it's constant, it's very constant and very strong in intonation wise as well. I really do think so, and also quite well delivered. I think the vocals are very well delivered. Works really well as well with the how there's both the female singer and the male singer and how they work together in the verses. There's just a nice combination of sounds that really get introduced by doing that, along with just how powerful and dominant the backing track is, because it really is. It's a very hard hitting rock track with a lot of energy to it, which I'm really a great fond of. I'm really fond of that, and yeah, the soundstage as well is really really nice. I like the whole kind of industrial tone to it. It's just really enjoyable for me personally. It fits right up my alley, genre wise. Really well performed as well. I like everything about it. I like everything about it a lot. Honestly, I think it's a fantastic entry. One of the better rock entries that we've had. I really do think so, but not the best. We'll get to that one or those ones later on in the series, I think. 2012. What happened here? I have no idea. I'm a joker, and that was a joke entry. I assume. Just awful. I don't know or understand anything about this. Just know I'm not gonna I'm not gonna develop on that further. If you like it, then you like it. If I hate it, then I definitely hate it. I don't get anything about this. Nope. What happened there? 2013, Waterfall, another solid song. I think this is a pretty ballad, but it doesn't really do much more than that. It's kind of on par with Shine for me personally. Maybe not as engagingly performed. I think Shine has a more visually appealing performance. But this is a solid ballad with a nice chorus. It has a good instrumentation behind it. Everything's just well done, but I don't really think it's much more than that. It's nice how they use a duet. It becomes, kind of intimate in that sense. I just don't really connect with it much more than I can put it in solid. So that's where I'm gonna put it. 2014. Oh, it's a lot of up and down here. This one I just don't understand. I think it's all over the place. It's very incohesive. It's overly ambitious, I think. Like they've tried to be really out there with songwriting techniques and how to really structure the song. And for me personally, it just falls completely flat and doesn't work at all. But maybe for someone it really does. I don't know. I think this is just more not for me than it is what happened here, because I understand what they tried to do. It's just that I just don't really think it's there are any ideas that appeal to me in the song. So I'll have to put it down there, honestly. Yep. No regrets on that one. 2015, we have Warrior. This is quite a good one, I think. Like the lyrical side of things, we don't need to delve into too much because it doesn't really make any sense. I like the lighting. I like the smoke on stage, except for when the smoke machine broke. I believe. This is the performance where you couldn't even see her. It was just smoke everywhere. I don't remember if that was in the semifinal or the final, but I'm sure someone out there knows. But yeah, it's a quite a strong song. It's dark. It's suspenseful. It has a nice hook to it. I quite enjoy it, but at the same time, I feel like it's just there to kind of fill up the numbers. I don't know. I just don't really latch onto it that much. It's quite well written, instrumental wise, but just doesn't really do anything out of the ordinary that really grabs my attention. It just goes on for 3 minutes. I enjoy it for what it is. I think it's solid enough. It's a strong solid, but I don't think it's really on par with really great entries. I don't know. Yeah, that's just my my standpoint on this one. 2016, however, I think this one is really great. The first time I heard it, it was just a complete mess because the production quality of it was terrible. The sound design was really off-putting. There was a lot of weird sounds and ideas and elements and detailing in here that just didn't really work for me personally. And then they remade it, like they revamped, remixed, remastered everything about the song so that it sounded pretty good. And then you just throw on this really engaging and wacky performance up on top of it with the light strobes going all over the place and the camera cuts and the editing of it just looks great. A real enjoyable performance to watch for 3 minutes, and the song is so packed with energy as well that I just really enjoy it, and I quite like the what do you call it? The distinct parts of the song. Like the verses are uh, very contrastive to the chorus, and I like that contrast a lot. How they differ. How the verses are more slow in terms of its rhythm, I guess you could say, and the chorus is just all in 100% power and energy, and yeah, I just like that. And it works really well with the performance as well. I think that really the performance elevates this into a really great one for me personally. Keep the Faith. This is I like this performance a lot. I think it's quite strong. It's just that it's too lifeless in a sense. It's too out dragged. Doesn't really move along with energy that I really wanted to. I get that the idea behind the song isn't really to create some kind of energy and make it into a ballad like that. But I really do think that this one could have benefited from something additional to really just keep some energy in there, because I think this one drags a bit too much. It becomes too slow moving, a bit static as well. I'm not really a big fan of that. Even though it's staged well, it's performed well, I just don't really latch onto it as much as I do want to. But it's a good effort. I like it, but there are some setbacks that I just don't really enjoy that much. So I'll have to put it down there. Then we have For You by Irayo, which I think is a song that really stands out. I quite like this one actually. I really do like the work with harmonies here. Staging wise wasn't really too interesting, which is a shame. They could have done more with it. I do like when you look at the music video, I think I like that kind of color scheme and layout way more than I do just watching them stand next to each other on stage. It was quite underwhelming, I think. But there's something in the song here. I like the progression of it. I like how they build on each other and really just work as a collective to really deliver the message and the delivery of the song together. It's a very it's like a song showcasing unity or something like that. They're a great collective on stage, or maybe not on stage, but they're a great collective performing it. I just wish that maybe they would have matched that on stage and really just worked in their favor. I still think it's a solid. It's closer to the I like it, but because I think the stage layout and everything about that is kind of a big downfall. But I do also think that I don't get really as uninterested in this one as I do maybe with Keep the Faith. I think this one is still solid. It's a solid package altogether. I just maybe would have wished for different executions here. Yeah, solid enough. I think another solid one. Yeah, I think really. I don't really remember the name of the song. I always think that it's called Varada Varada or something because that's the most iconic line from the song. I really like the way that this one is performed though. It's very epic. It's very grand, and it's a bit kind of over the top at times, but there's still some kind of charm to that. And I do like the main singer here. Him as a performer, I think is really strong. The backing visuals are great. Just charming, while also having a song that actually has, some kind of impact that sticks in your head, while also being a somewhat solid progression throughout. It's by no means really anything particularly strong in my opinion, but I just like the execution of it. I think there's charm to it. I think it's well presented on stage as well. So I'll have to put it up there. And then we have Take Me As I Am, which we never got to see on stage, of course. I think this song is quite cool. I like the dynamics of it. It's very like shouty at times, and then at other times it's very minimalistic, which I quite really enjoy, to be honest. Chorus is kind of memorable. It's a bit draggy in how there's a very slow rhythm to it that really backs it up. It doesn't really have a lot of energy, which I think is a setback. So maybe I'll put it in I like it, but because I think that it really needed something to really drive it forward a bit more. But I still like many ideas in the song here. the lyrical side of things, I know a lot of people have varied opinions on that, and I don't really mind. I mean, I'm not a big lyrics guy anyway, but I think the music could have definitely needed more energy and more drive to really make this one work as they wanted it to work. I still think it's cool. There are cool ideas in here. The backing vocals are really strong, and his vocals are very, isolated centrally, which just makes them really in your face throughout, and you really latch onto them. But I don't think the backing track really matches the ambition that they have here. But still, I like parts of it here. I do not, however, like the effort that, what do you say, that came after it. I think this one is way too slow. I think it's too uninteresting. The ending when the song finally comes along, it comes too late, and doesn't really have that impact that it really wants to either. It's one thing to add, backing vocals and a shouty central, like shouty main vocal to try and deliver some power, but I really do think the backing track needed to like there's a similar issue here, but this one has the same issue but to a greater extent. I really do think so. This is too minimalistic, too restrained, not for me. Simple as that. And Circus Mircus is definitely not for me either. I think this song is a complete incohesive mess. I think the verses are, well, just simply not for me. Very off-putting, both rhythmically and melodically. I think it's a very monotonous song. There is some creativity being thrown into the chorus with the main hook. But at the same time, it's just a bit too up and down, too static for me personally. I just can't vibe with it at all. Not for me, simple as that. And those are the Georgian songs in Eurovision. I feel a bit sad seeing like the tier list like this. I think it looks a bit negative. So maybe Georgia isn't really one of my go-to countries in Eurovision. I have a friend who prefers them way more than I do. So I'm sorry, Martin, if you're disappointed with this list, but that's the way it is. Yeah, it's not for everyone, and Georgia isn't really for me. But I do really think that these three up here, they're really great or either fantastic. So shout outs to these, and let's hope Georgia has something amazing to send in 2023. Because one thing about Georgia that you have to respect is that they always stick to their own thing. They don't really care about what anyone else sends and what does well, which I think is admirable. Just hasn't really managed to connect with me every time. Let's say that. But yeah, this is my tier list for Georgian entries in Eurovision. Do tell me what yours would look like in the comments. There aren't that many songs this time around, so it's a bit easier to put together a tier list. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next video as well, whenever that comes out. Take care of yourselves until then, and bye-bye.